Hey guys, a little while ago I recorded a library book haul that is processing right now, so hopefully that will be available to watch anytime now. In the meantime, I am now going to record my regular book haul, like not non-library related. This is going to include books that I got from Booksparks this month, books that I've received for review, a one book depository order, and my last book outlet haul, which now is going to be my last. That's it. I'm not buying books for a while, and I'm trying to slow down on the arcs that I request and stuff. I have a system that I'm going to be working on, and I'll probably include talking about that in my bookish meandering chat that I guess I'll try to record that tomorrow. Okay, so let's get started because I have a limited amount of time because I have to run some errands in a little bit. Okay, so these are the books that I've received from Booksparks for their summer reading challenge. I've mentioned them in some past videos, and I also talk about it on Instagram. I'm actually, the way I've got these piled up, going from the books I've received more recently to earlier in the month. So first, lastly, most recently, I received The People We Hate. I've got books falling all over the place. Oh, no. No, this is no good. Okay. The People That We Hate at the Wedding by Grant Ginder. I actually also received an arc of this a while back. And that is now going to be included in my Instagram giveaway in July as well. If you didn't watch my library haul, you'll see another book that will be included. So when Booksparks offered this, I decided to go ahead and go for it, even though I had the arc, because I figured it would be a hardcover, and I figured there'd be something else in there, so I went ahead and requested that as well. So now I have a nice, beautiful hardcover, and I've heard that this is a really fun book, so I'm looking forward to reading it. I don't know much about it, and I'm not going to go into lots of details, because I want this to be a somewhat reasonable length video. Okay, next to last box I received had 3 books in it. It had Last Scene by J.L. Doucette, which is a Dr. Pepper Hunt mystery. I don't know if this is the first in the series, the second in the series. I have no idea. I know nothing about this, except that it is a detective novel, and Dr. Pepper Hunt is a psychological... she's like a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever. And that's all I know. And they apparently teamed up with Dr. Pepper or something, because one of the challenges for from Booksparks for this was to take a picture of it while enjoying a Dr. Pepper. And also in that package were the first 2 in C.E. Tobisman's Carolyn Alden legal thriller series. I don't know, they don't have them numbered, which I always find annoying. I wish they would number them, like, on the sides. So one of them is Doubt, and one of them is Proof. Proof is the one that they're actually, I guess that's the most recent. Yeah, so I guess Doubt is number 1, and then comes Proof. So I will try to read them in that order. Then, before that, was Mary Kubica's most recent, Every Last Lie. I have not read any books by her. I've heard good and bad, so I'm not sure what to expect. And then the first one that I had received in June was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I have not read it yet. I have not read anything by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have not read any of my book sparks yet this month. I am very sorry. I read all of the book sparks, books that I received. Okay, I'm sorry. All but 2. No. I started Good Night from London, but I wasn't really enjoying it. So I think I just have Rich People Problems left, which I haven't read yet because I haven't read the first 2 in the trilogy, and I really want to read those first. So anyway, I did really well in May, and I have done really poorly for book sparks in June as far as actually reading the books. I've done all my posting of pictures, which is all you're required to do. But yeah, so I will get caught up with those at some point. Next, okay, I just have to pull this stack over. Okay, I received Against the Wind by Tatiana Shimlek from the author to read for review. I've read a few pages of it, and I do want to get to that. If not by the end of June, then I want this to be one of the first books I read in July. Because this is a local. She lives, I live in southern New Hampshire, and she lives in Massachusetts, in a town somewhat close by. I had never heard of her before. Like I said, she's self-published. I had received an email from, like, I don't know. It wasn't her. And this doesn't have a publisher listed. I'm not sure who it was, but someone got in touch with me after seeing some of my reviews on Amazon and asked if I'd be interested. It's historical fiction. It's a novel, but it's based on, I believe, her experience coming to America after, I think it's her coming of age and childhood in Siberia and the Ukraine. I don't know if it covers her immigration to the U.S. at all, but so it's based on her experiences, and I'm interested. I have to say it's a fairly large print, which I appreciate because I should be wearing glasses when I read, but I usually don't because it just gets uncomfortable. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to reading that, and I hope that I will enjoy it so I can leave a nice review. Then I received The Stolen Marriage by Diane Chamberlain. I've read a couple of her books. She's sort of like a Barbara Delinsky, Jodi Picoult, but like not as well known. But sort of that interesting plot lines that are usually somehow controversial, or just like those really hard, difficult decisions, sort of family thing is happening. This one takes place in 1944 in Hickory, North Carolina, which I used to live somewhat near Hickory. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that one. Then I received a nice little package from Kim, at Kim here. I had found a book that she was looking for, I think it was number 2 in the series of Unfortunate Events. So I had found it, so I decided to send it to her, and she very nicely, sent me some books, which was not necessary, but much appreciated. So she sent me Crying Wolf by Peter Abrahams. I've never heard of or read anything, sorry for the reflection, by him, but Stephen King says, my favorite American suspense novelist. So that sounds like a good recommendation. The Key to Midnight by Dean Koontz. I only read one book by Dean Koontz. I can't remember which one, but it wasn't this one. And then she sent me a copy of her own story that she wrote, Kevin. She writes under the name K.D. Reed. It's very short. It's sci-fi, and it is autographed. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's just around 50 pages. I think that this will make an excellent inclusion in maybe a readathon, because it's really short, or maybe just sometime I have an hour to kill in a waiting room or something, and that'll be a nice thing to read. So this is my one book that I ordered off Book Depository. I actually ordered it a few months ago, but it was released in June, so I received it in June. I received an ARC of this book. I read it and I enjoyed it, and it's a local New Hampshire author, and I loved the UK cover, so I decided to order it, and that is Ginny Moon by Benjamin Ludwig. I am actually going to be seeing him in July. I helped to facilitate him visiting a local bookstore. The release party was at a New Hampshire bookstore that's like an hour and a half away from me, and it was at 7 o'clock at night, and I just didn't feel like driving that far at that time of night, most likely with 3 kids. So I tweeted him and asked if he could come closer, and had added, whatever you call it, my local independent bookstore, and the author said he was interested, and that if he heard from the bookstore, he would very much love to come. So then I emailed the bookstore, and they were like, yes, absolutely, we will contact him, and they got in touch with each other and worked it out, and now I will be getting to go see him. And I also, I'm going to take a stack of his, I still have my ARC, and I borrowed my library's copy. I talked to the library director when I was there last night and offered to have it signed, and she was like, sure, borrow it, and we'd love to have it autographed. So I will be taking 3 books for him to sign, and hopefully if there's any sort of, I know sometimes they'll have a limit, like a 2-book limit, not at this store, but just in general. So hopefully maybe they'll let me squeeze past with 3. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It is a very good book. My ARC, it was called The Original Ginny Moon, but apparently they shaved it down to just Ginny Moon. This is a book about an adopted autistic teenage girl, and sort of just her getting used to living with her forever parents, and some kind of internal conflict she's having with wanting to get back in touch with her birth mother, and there's reasons for that, and I don't want to go into much detail because that's the plot of the book, and I would love for you to discover that for yourself, and he's a local debut author. Benjamin Ludwig, Ginny Moon, check it out. And okay, so now is my, sorry for the crinkling, my book outlet order. And I did open this and look through them before, but I waited to put them on the shelf until I got this video done. So first I have All the Rage by Courtney Summers. And there was someone in the Julie's Buddy Read With Me group that I specifically mentioned I was going to make this video and talk about how some of them are scratch and dent. So hopefully you're watching. This one was not, I'm going to look at my list here. Only one of them is marked as scratch and dent, but sometimes the bargain ones can still be a little scratch and dent. This one, like the only problem, this is not the one that is marked scratch to dent. This one does have like a little tiny, see that little white spot? Just kind of like some shelfware. And then this front corner is a little tiny bit, you know, it's nothing really major. I paid $3.19 for this one. So anyway, so this is by Courtney Summers. I've been wanting to check her out for a while. I think I read an interview with her or something, and she writes, I think she was talking to, I think she was like having an interview with Laurie Halse Anderson, who I also have not read yet. But anyway, she writes a lot of like this one has something to do with rape, basically. A teenage girl is raped and is trying to deal with it or something like that. So I've been wanting to check her out. Okay, next I have 5 to 1. This was also just a bargain book. Now this box did arrive with some damage. Like you can see there, that corner. So I'm not sure, some of this might have been the ones that are just marked bargain. Could have just, so this one has like, see that corner of the, and when I take off the jacket, you can see it on the actual cover. It's got a little bent. That could be just from the shipping. And it doesn't bother me enough to make a big deal about it. I paid $3.19 for this one also. This is some sort of dystopian novel that takes place in India, and it's like there's 5. I feel like I heard somewhere, it's got something to do with, yeah, India has a ratio of 5 boys for every girl, so that there's some sort of like contest or something for girls to choose the boy they want to marry or something like that. Next I got Gretel and the Dark by Eliza Granville. This one I don't see any real issues. There's a little tiny bit of shelfware if you're looking really close, as many of the book outlet books have. It's got that mark on the bottom. That's just to show that they were marked down and sold at a reduced price. Yeah, so this is some sort of I think Hansel and Gretel retelling that's got to do with World War II and the Holocaust. And the only other Hansel and Gretel retelling I've read was the same idea, a retelling that was done through as if it took place during the Holocaust. And I really loved that book. I cannot remember the title right now. I think it's just Hansel and Gretel, but I loved it, and it's one of my favorite retellings. So yeah, so I picked that up, and I paid $4.79 for that. Next is Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. Again, this one has a little tiny ding in the, I don't think you can even, it's got like a little tiny fold in the corner of the dust jacket, but the cover itself looks fine. This is a book I've heard about from Shannon at Book Early. I think Paige at Pages. Also read it. I think Lala didn't love it. I think Paige and Lala and Shannon did. So yeah, I've been wanting to read that since I know at least Shannon read it. I think Shannon and Paige both read it during Spookathon, and Lala read it later. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to reading that. That was $6.39. Next is Lucy, which is a book by Jamaica Kincaid. That was $4.79. I read Jamaica Kincaid. I read an essay by her earlier this year, or last year, and I enjoyed it, so I decided I wanted to try something else by her. Okay, so this is the most heavily damaged one. Night Film by Marisha Pessel. And this is the damage, if you can see that, right there on the corner. It's got that little black mark, and then it's got some other marking, like, I don't know, like it just looks like it rubbed by something. This was $4.29. So I really don't, that doesn't really bother me that much. It's, you know, it's a little bit roughed up there, but it doesn't terribly affect. The last few pages are a little crimped, but, you know, that doesn't bother me. This is a book I've been hearing a lot about, hearing great things. I've really wanted to read it, and it's a pretty expensive book still, most places, so it's not that big a deal to me. And, you know, when I have been hearing about this, I did not realize that this book has, like, huge sections that are mixed media, like articles and photos and, like, newspaper, like, and I love that. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out. Next, I got You Can't Touch My Hair by Phoebe Robinson. I paid $4.79 for this. Yep, just another book I'm looking forward to reading. This is not in any, I mean, it's in great condition. It's got that black spot on the bottom, but that's it. It's got a little tiny, you can't even see it, but it's a little slightly, like, got like a little tiny crease on the back, but nothing that you'd even notice unless you're really looking. And then the last book I got is We Love You, Charlie Freeman by Caitlin Greenidge. And I believe she's a New Hampshire or Massachusetts. Oh, she's originally from Boston, now lives in Brooklyn. But this is something to do with an African-American family that uses sign language, and they've been asked to move up with this, to rural Massachusetts to participate in a research experiment that has something to do with teaching a chimp to speak in sign language. So that sounds really interesting. And that is everything. So for all those books, I spent $36.82. I got just over the $35 mark so I could have free shipping. So thank you for watching. I will hopefully upload this later on today, and tomorrow I will do my sort of like hodgepodge of all the things I've been wanting to talk about. I'm going to be talking about readathon that's been on my mind to start or work with someone to start on. My sort of plans on how I'm going to be doing my buying ban or whatever, and get all these books that I own read. There's some other stuff I can't think of right now. I have to make myself a list, but thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, I love to chat with you guys in the comments, so thanks for watching.